Under the current economic situation, what do you think are the most influential factors affecting the inflation rate?
Well, I'm not an economist, but I think that's a very tough question, and I don't know that even the Federal Reserve has a good gauge as to how to really control inflation. I think we've started to raise interest rates at a time when inflation right now doesn't really seem to be a problem. There's only been the threat that inflation could start to pick up. So wage growth has been starting to move higher. I think that's important. Unemployment is a difficult area only because there's more people now out of the workforce than working, at least in the U.S. There's more people retiring than working. And so as older people, as the demographics change and more people start to leave the workforce, it's going to show it as unemployment. To say that we're at full employment now is still, I think, sort of a challenge. So, some of the key metrics that have worked in the past with regards to the Phillips curve, I just don't know that I buy into that. So, I can't give a great answer as to the factors that would affect inflation. I think that by what Powell is doing now, though, and hiking rates, could in fact produce stagflation. I think the growth will probably start to wane, and if inflation picks up, then you could have a mix of that.
Well, there are different factors affecting the inflation rate nowadays. One important one is the economic cycle, the activity in the economy that might influence how much prices increase over time. Another factor that is important is the evolution of wages. To the extent that wages remain low, they will put less pressure on inflation. But if wages start to rise, then policymakers will worry more about the inflation rate. Another factor that might be important is the productivity of the economy. So to the extent that the companies can increase productivity, that might temper the inflation rate in the future. But if they are not able to increase productivity, that might put an upward pressure on the inflation rate. And then another factor that is important is how the policymakers are reacting. One particularly important policymaker is the Fed. So the Fed sets the rate to try to control inflation. So the response of the Fed will be an important factor determining the inflation rate.